Hey everyone, how's it going? CaptainGavlan here. We're coming down to you today with our part 8 of our Let's Play Shadowrun Returns series. When we last left off, we had performed a seance with the help of Shannon, and some dead children told us that the perpetrators of the Ripper murder were a fully biological elf and a fully mechanized troll. We were also given some blood samples to take and perform some tests on to see who that elf was. So today we're going to be jumping into the Matrix in order to get that blood tested. But before we go, I wanted to make sure that our decking skill was as high as possible, because we're going to be going into the Matrix, which is the domain of deckers. So let's get our decking up to 4, our intelligence to 5, and our decking to 5. And confirm. Also, what I wanted to do was, before we hit up the Matrix, get some new equipment. So let's go over to the black market. And for some reason, there isn't any merchants here, but we got Van Graz. Was hoping to get some peace and quiet tonight. You got something for me? I've got a flight recorder. Wouldn't happen to be the Ares flight recorder, would it? Some very powerful buyers are looking for that right now. I can get rid of it for you. Say 20%. That leaves 2,000 for you. Alright, we'll take 2,000 yen. Pleasure doing business. Although that kinda sucks. Looks like the black market dealers are gone, so we can't get any new equipment. Let's just check with David Fry here. Morning. You look like you've been up all night. You look like you've seen some action, too. Can either of you do a DNA analysis on the blood sample? Doc Castle's equipment isn't really set up for that. He considers for a moment. However, I could employ a semiconductor chip. It could encode DNA using a voltage charge instead of light. That would eliminate the use of highly expensive equipment that would be required otherwise. He brightens. I just read a journal about it, on the information still fresh. Frankly, it should be easy. What do you want to know about it? The owner's identity. Ah, that's beyond me. All I can get you is a gene code sequence. But that's where I come in. David, if you can get me that code sequence, I'm pretty sure we can track its owner down via Matrix run. Will do. Let me have the DNA you want to test. Here's a blood sample of the elf. Conduit, when David gives me the sequence, I'll jack you in and help you trace the blood samples back to its source. Wiz, get to work. A question, if I may. I think it's the Ripper's blood. No, Drek! He returns to Johnny, excited. Wake up, Johnny boy. We've got work to do, and Conduit, if you need any gear, I'll be right here. I've got a second wind. Meet me at your rig, Conduit. Oh, so we can actually get some equipment from a Fry here. Before we enter up the Matrix, I definitely want to deck myself out. You need some hardware or software? I'll take a look. We got cyber decks. Now this is the cyborg stuff I'm pretty sure everyone was talking about. We got the Renraku Craftwork. Maybe pick up this Fuji Vera X, the best cyborg I can get. He doesn't have any weapons, though, so I guess we're just going to be picking up some new cyborg tech. Confirm. And now I should be able to equip this somehow. There we go. Fujivira techs. Confirm. Let's get into this Matrix. This is basically the home of the Deckers. So maybe there'll be some nice cyborg stuff we can find inside the Matrix. That'd be really cool. Come on, Johnny, talk to me. Thanks to the semiconductor-based gene sequence system that David employed, we should have the information we need to track the Ripper in the Matrix. I'm really impressed with the results, considering it was his first attempt. He was utilizing an unproven technique he read about in a science journal, and he was working it from memory on minimal sleep. Sounds fascinating! If there's any time later, maybe you can tell me more about it. Yes, maybe we can sit down with David and he can share his research, but let's stay focused. Here's what I'm thinking. We hit the Lone Star DNA database first to see if our donor had prior criminal record. They have extensive DNA archives. Then we go hunting based on what we find. Let's hit the decks and jack into the Matrix. I can get into their private grid easily, but I've got to warn you, once we're in, it could get a little rough. How much decking experience have you had? Well, I got decking 4, so I'm pretty damn good. Great, I'll come with, just in case any IC decides to crash our party. Hopefully I didn't just make the entire process harder for ourselves. Jacking in. So we can actually use our programs while inside. I'm actually going to hit back Dr. Fry real quick, see if there's any programs I want to come in with. Wasn't quite sure how programs worked, but I guess it's just inside the Matrix. Alright, we got this. Killer level 2 sounds good, does a whole bunch of damage. Our heals, very nice. And reduces alarm state, sounds like it might need for potential stealth missions, so we'll go ahead and confirm. Make sure that's all in my equipment. Weapons, dex, drone. I guess I have it all. Confirm. And this might take a while because we're actually stuck in combat, so I gotta get them both all the way back over here. That's annoying being stuck in combat. Let's get him jacked in. Confirm. We're in. That arch will take us to the next node. But what about Conduit? Gotta equip all my programs, confirm. The excruciating ecstasy of jacking your neural network into the digital world washes over you, grips you, crushes you into singularity, and expands you infinitely. You are one with the data stream. Welcome to the Matrix. That's exciting. Now we can jack him in, there we go. There we go, now we're both in the Matrix. Oh, there might be like a virus system there. This is pretty cool, we're actually hacking into a computer. I guess those are the drones. Where is he? Still back here? Let's get him up. Now, this is so kind of similar to the Matrix. You've seen that we can actually take damage and actually die in this Matrix, so we don't really want to be dying. I guess we're gonna be fighting other Deckers as well as their security programs. Can't seem to actually attack anything though, it says. Oh, I guess we can only use programs. We can't actually use our weapons. So killer level 2. Can we use that? It's 100 and still alive, so that's a lot of health. That's on cooldown though. I think I was not prepared for this. Oopsies. Hopefully he has something. Here we go. Killer level 1. Heal, sniffer, and suppression. So we'll go ahead and hopefully this will kill that. Something interesting I was thinking about the other day was also that our 2 potential killers were an elf and a troll. And I remember that there were actually 2 elves we've met that we never actually kind of talked about that much, which was when we first met Cherry Bomb. There was a elf I think was her previous boyfriend or something like that. He had become a member of the Brotherhood. We haven't actually heard that much about this whole Brotherhood religion thing. As well as there was that one elf when we met the second victim. He was kind of creeping around the scene, saying he wanted to see the dead bodies as a hobby. I don't think either of those are the elf we're looking for, but I guess it could be anyone. See if we can finish him off real quick with our killer level 1. unlike shamans, these guys do not disappear when the owners die. There isn't really any good places to cover here, so we'll say end the turn. He took some damage there, but we can actually heal that. Unlike the other spells, these things seem to have very low cooldowns as well as they don't actually cost you health. Now I know... yeah, you can't actually use health to trick out the cooldown period with these, but let's just heal him up. And now we should be able to kill off the rest of this guy. Kill level 1. Another thing that sounded really cool about the whole killers were the troll, at least, was supposed to be kind of fully robotic. Sounded pretty cool. The elf. There we go. Let's just kill this guy off with our weaker attack so it's not on cooldown when we enter the next battle. Come on. The IC is down. Let's see if there's a match for his fingerprint. Fingerprint? Oh, I guess we hacked a computer's fingerprint. DNA match located. 100% match. Arrest record database. Subject: Celeste Forsberg. Status: deceased. Profession: chop shop surgical assistant. Priors: breaking and entering 2 counts. Public indecency 1 count. Brought in for questioning on accusations of unlicensed plastic surgery. No charges were filed. Now that 100% match to a dead man. Let's keep looking. I guess that was the wrong where to go. But that really had me thinking about that elf dude we met at the second murder. Because he seemed to be very interested in chop shops industry. He might actually have been an assistant that had himself killed off. Or at least they thought he died and he was really just hiding out. He was an elf, so he did match the description we're looking for. This guy's probably going to aggro onto us if we just walk over here, but let's just see how far we can get without aggroing. Oh, I didn't even see that guy. Come on, where's our attack? So it reduces alarm state. I'm guessing that might de-aggro them, but I'm not 100% sure. Increases chance to hit. Doesn't really help that much. So we just got our killers, I guess. And then Conduit should be able to finish this guy off with his attack. Oh! I believe this is the alarm status, so let's make sure we reduce that. How does this work? Reduces alarm state. How do I use it though? Not sure. Do I target this guy? That just did damage. How do I Oh, I believe it costs 3 AP, which means we're about to get alerted by the end of this, I can tell you that. Let's just end the round for real quick. Watch out, the black IC could fry us. Oh yeah. That's what happens when our alert status goes unchecked. Luckily, we got our full AP. Now this guy might just go away if we kill him, so let's kill him first, see if it just goes away by itself. Otherwise, we're gonna have to use that, downgrade the alarms. In fact, if he got nothing better to do, man, he can't really use that though right now. I guess he has some damage, so let's heal him. This is a pretty cool part of the game though. We get to kind of hack into the computer world. Still haven't seen much about the whole cyborg thing. It's really just these data jacks. It's kind of lame sauce. I've got 2 more hits in the same... I can't hear what he said. Okay, so our alert status is still active. Let's see if we can reduce the alert status. Gotta click ourselves, or... That did not actually reduce our alert status. So I'm still don't know what alert status is. You just fry this guy off in 2 turns. I said I wish the cyborg thing would have been more kind of like what Coyote happened. What's this? Creates an attacker expert system. Oh, this is a drone, isn't it? Huh. Kind of like Coyote got that cyborg arm. Haven't really seen anything like that in this game yet. It's mainly just been these little data jacks and robot eyes, stuff like that. They weren't even robot eyes, they were just robot plugs you plug into your eyes. It's more about this whole computer technology Matrix style than actual mechanical cyborg stuff. Autopsy records. Subject, Salis Forsberg. Notes. Subject was found overdosed on half a dozen different sedatives. Several anti-anxiety medications were also found in his system. Face was mutilated, possibly self-inflicted. Identity could not be confirmed immediately due to disfigurement. Had to check dental records to confirm next of kin. Large puncture wounds were found in several places on the body. Possibly large bore surgical needles. Body had been decomposing for several weeks before the landlord noticed the smell and called the police when no one answered the door. Just keeps getting weirder. Yeah, I remember that. Let's see if we can reduce our alert status outside of combat. No, that's a 6-round cooldown. But the elf we were talking about, or I was talking about, actually had a disfigured face because he was an elf, but he was horribly ugly. And generally, elves are actually, you know, pretty good looking in this game. So that's kind of weird that he had a disfigured face, and this Salis dude also had a disfigured face. Oh, wrong character, that's why. There we go. We got some more goons up here. It's a lot of them actually, 3. Hopefully they haven't been alerted yet, but they probably have, so I'm just going to use the round to attack, I guess. See if we can hit this guy. Not exactly sure which one's more dangerous. I assume just because... Whoa. Is that a one-shot, or we just don't have field of vision, maybe? Oh yeah, this guy can buff and stuff, so he's a lot more dangerous, but these guys are easier to kill. We'll just kill off these guys, because if there's no one for him to buff, it's not like they even do anything anyway. 1 round to take care of this guy pretty good. 75, and then we go to our other friend. It's kind of boring now, you just get 1 round of attack each turn. I guess if you had downloaded multiple different kill files, you'd be able to attack multiple times. I guess we can also just attack. Oh, wow. Okay, we can actually just attack. I didn't realize that. My bad. Let's see if we can get this next archive. Newsnet 1, return on subject. Silas Forsberg, the body of Silas Forsberg, a chop shop surgical assistant, was found in an apartment in Snomish earlier this week. The body had been there for as long as a month when Forbes' landlord noticed a rancid smell and contacted authorities. Lone Star representatives have issued a statement saying Forbes' death had been ruled a suicide. According to the report, his body, a mass of puncture wounds, and the cause of death was determined to be an overdose of anti-stress medications and sedatives. The man's employer claims he was a dedicated employee, though he suffered from bouts of depression. Forsberg's next of kin could not be located, but the attorney appointed to his estate has located a will written weeks prior, leaving all of his belongings to his psychiatrist. The identity of the psychiatrist has not been released due to privacy concerns. Yet another sad end to a life, as is far too common here in the sprawl. Now that might be something we can go on. Let's regroup and meet in space bar. Check out LN. Well, if I would, but this guy doesn't want to seem to leave. Why can't I... Can't I leave? Come on. There we go. See if he wants to leave. He won't leave. Come on, man, leave. There we go. Another thing interesting about that dude, the Forbes guy, is that he could also have been potentially killed, but then going to one of my other theories, he could have been killed and then resurrected as a cyborg, because one of the people was a full-on cyborg, one of them was full-on biological. Might have been the cyborg dude actually was the Forbes guy. So here's what we know. Our DNA evidence belongs to a dead man whose death was never explained. He worked with chop shops, which fits with the living guy you met before. The Newsnet says he left his estate to his psychiatrist. Maybe finding out who his psychiatrist is will give us our next clue. My gut says we can deck into the medical board's records and reverse trace to find the doctor. You in? Punch it, man. Guys, we're going back into the Matrix. Especially with the whole psychiatrist and patient. That's already two people. So it might be that the one guy is actually a cyborg at this point because he was killed. And his psychiatrist kind of told him, hey, you should go find some people, take their organs, and turn yourself back to a human. That'd be really weird if that was the case, but I guess anything's possible. Alright. Why can't I hear... No, wait, this isn't it. I forgot to add all of his abilities. So we are actually going to be going back, but I think we have to kill them first. I forgot to data jack all of Conduit's abilities, so I will be right back after this fight. Sorry about that. It's charging. Combat seems simple enough even without the abilities, but it might get harder as we dig deeper. Yeah, then we gotta... I guess only Conduit has to actually go back out. So this guy can actually stay here. But Conduit needs to go back out so he can equip his abilities. Okay, end turn, we both have full AP. Click this guy. He goes in. Now then, Conduit, he goes in and we have to equip all of our abilities. Why the abilities can't just get saved onto his data jack, I do not know. But now we're back in. And our alert status is almost all the way up again. Let's see if we can actually reduce that this time before it goes off. Reduces alarm status by 4. Reduce? Oh, we don't have enough AP. And we were found out again because of it. That's something I gotta keep track of. This little bar down here. Otherwise we're gonna be stuck here all day. Constantly fighting these CT dudes. Alright, let's see if we can hack this terminal now. Searching medical records. Salis Forsberg found. Medical records file for Salis Forsberg. 2020-2030. Pediatric record partial. One particular pediatrician's entry stands out from the rest. Child suffers from a chronic depression and social anxiety most likely caused by his physical abnormalities. We've seen many cases like this recently with the outbreak of changeling children being born. With the aberrant physiology we are seeing, there's no telling what sort of brain functions are affected. Prescribed a series of sedatives last year that seemed to have no effect, upping dosage. So here's 20 to 30. Oh, never mind, it's the same one. So 30 to 40. Oops. 30 to 40. Data missing or corrupted. Connect your administrator for help. Okay, 40 to present. The file is quite large and takes well over an hour to read through. The final entry, however, is the most significant. It's written by Dr. Henry Holmes. Salas has overcome significant mental disorders and no longer goes through periods of violent episodes. Latest medication has proved especially effective, but I believe that being treated by another elf has significantly impacted his treatment. Unfortunately, my efforts to maintain an emotional boundary with him have proven challenging. He has bonded to me in an unhealthy and frankly an unnerving way. His hero worship exhibits itself in the form of mimicked speech patterns in adopting my dress. For this reason, and for the health of the patient, I am assigning another doctor to his case. I will inform him in the next session. Need the database. Got a new name, Dr. Holmes. Let's keep going and find out where he works. That 2030 to 20 to 31 though sounded as if that might have been the first elf ever born. Because I know in the lore of this game... Oh, I messed up. I should have had him walk back out. Oopsies. But anyway, they weren't always these so-called metahumans, the non-humans. They were always just normal humans. But then some event happened, and they started having what's called metahumans, which are basically the elves, dwarves, trolls, all that stuff. It sounded like it might have been the first patient to ever actually be a elf, maybe. So that sounds like a very likely suspect then to become the Ripper. Maybe he got really emotional about being different from everyone else. Oopsies, it's the wrong guy. It's hard to tell which one's which, because they're both just completely blue. I know their outlines are completely different though. But yeah, it sounds like if he was the first elf, he might actually have become the Ripper. And maybe he's... I'm not sure if they've said the meta races of the victims, but if they all are humans, then potentially the Ripper could be an elf trying to become a human by stealing human organs. We know Sam Watts was a human. Employment records located Henry Holdings, Holmes, MD, PhD. Check out the current employment status. Dr. Henry Holmes currently holds the position of Chief Psychiatrist and Administrator at Mercy Mental Hospital, Snohomish, Washington, UCAS. Let's check the previous one. Previous employers. So 45 to 54, Psychiatrist in Residence, Mercy Mental Hospital. 40 to 45 was Attending Psychiatrist at Mercy Mental Hospital. And 30 to 40 was Private Practice. 30 to 40 was one of the dates with that patient. That's when he was contacting that elf patient, was 30 to 40. This will leave for now. It sounds like we're about to go to some hospital place. This is probably going to be the end of the episode when we get back. Oh, I get out. Oh, we're not in combat anymore. Where are we? I can't control Conduit because something I think bugged out. Hopefully, if he goes back, yeah, that's a problem. I cannot control Conduit. Hopefully... Oh, there we go. This is a very weird system, this Matrix. And now it just completely... So he got to skip all the way to here, but Conduit doesn't. Reality is at the end of the day contextual. And as the meat world comes back into focus, with your head once again tries to settle on which world is the real one. While the philosophical question lingers in your meat body, demands food and drink, you're disconnected from the deck and find that the Union safe house has risen. Oh, sweet, we might be able to get some weapons here now. So before we end the episode, we're actually going to see if there's any weapons we can get. Need some new armor? I'll take a look. So I know that we are wanting to become a decker, but right now I'm using primarily guns, which means I'm going to go with this Ganger mask. Gives me quickness for guns and HP is really nice. So let's go ahead and equip that. Confirm. And I know one of these guys sells guns. I think it's him. Despite the hour, Buster is fastidiously put together in another wrinkle-free suit. He shows every indication that he's been up for hours, sunk to his elbows in a dozen crates, each containing objects of sinister matte black hidden beneath curls of straw, colored packaging foam. The foam flies out as he inventories the shipment, clinging to every surface except for Buster's immaculate suit. Just in time, I've got a whole slew of new toys in from a supper back east. Factory fresh and still smelling of the mother's gun oil. Maybe there's something in the batch that you'd be interested in. Let me see what you got. I think drones are actually for the non-deckers, but the other ones. Let's see if he has any health packs. Drone repair kits aren't health packs, so we're gonna be looking for some rifles now. Oh man, I'm starting to regret not being melee. You can have a giant axe in this game. Right now, it looks like the best rifle is this FNHAR. Does more damage and more magazines. That's pretty much worth it. Gonna confirm. We can actually equip that and our other rifle, so I guess we'll have both equipped right now. Confirm. And never mind. Alright, so we made it through the Matrix. We found out some information about Dr. Holmes and potentially the Elf Ripper Murderer. So that's going to be it for our Part 8 Shadowrun Returns Let's Play. As always, if you enjoy the video, please remember to comment, like, and or subscribe to help the channel grow. And I will see you all next time when we investigate Dr. Holmes.